Christmas crack, but make it Mardi Gras. Think king cake, praline, buttery cracker, deliciousness. Let me show you how to do it. We even got the seal of approval from one who isn't really a sweets kind of guy. Like, I am definitely a sweets kind of girl. Well, my dad was born in New Orleans and raised in South Mississippi, and so real pralines were always a thing. And this time of year, king cake was a must. So I was thinking, what could we do that would be a nod to both of those things? And I thought, what if we did Christmas crack, but Mardi Gras version? So that's what we're gonna make today. So I'm using, instead of saltines, I'm using club crackers because I just thought that buttery, salty cracker would go well with what I'm trying to accomplish. Okay, so I've got those in there. I'm gonna scatter on top of that a cup of chopped and toasted pecans. You can't have good pralines without some pecans. So we're gonna scatter all that around, and then we're gonna move over to the stovetop and make the toffee part of the crack with a nod to pralines. Okay, so this is where I'm going to make the nod to pralines. Still a toffee base. I'm not going for a chewy, thick praline. I still want the crispiness of the Christmas crack experience. So in my saucepan, I have 1 cup of brown sugar and 1 cup of butter or 2 sticks. And I'm going to add to that a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of water, and a tablespoon of heavy cream. Now, if I was making this Christmas crack traditional way, the water and heavy cream would not be in there. I'm just trying to get the creaminess of pralines without the thickness of a praline. So a little cream never hurt anything. We are going to cook this until it dissolves on kind of a simmer. Okay, I've got it all dissolved, so I've turned my heat up a little bit, and I'm going to bring it to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, I'm gonna let it boil without stirring it for 3 minutes. Okay, I just started my timer for 3 minutes. We'll be back when the toffee praline deliciousness is ready. Okay, it's been 3 minutes. I'm removing from the heat, and I'm going to add a teaspoon of maple extract. Not more than a teaspoon. I don't want this to taste like pancake syrup, so a teaspoon. I'm not gonna measure it. You can measure it if you need to measure it. It's gonna have a reaction, so be ready. That's the alcohol in there. We're gonna, oh my gosh, that smells so good. We're gonna also do about a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And a teaspoon of cinnamon. Now, if you are a praline purist, you know that pralines do not have maple or cinnamon in them. And when I'm making pralines, I don't put maple or cinnamon in them. But remember, I'm going for a combo flavor of, wow, that smells good, pralines and king cake crack. And what is traditional to king cake is cinnamon and kind of that mapley enriched dough, okay? So I'm gonna get all this stirred together, and I'll meet you back over there where my baking sheet is. Okay, so we are going to pour this over our crackers and pecans. Okay, and then I'm going to use an offset spatula to just spread that out real good. Okay, this is going in a 350-degree oven for 10 minutes. Okay, so they are out of the oven. I've let them cool for about 5 minutes. Now we're gonna do our chocolate topping. So I've melted about 2 cups of white chocolate chips, and I'm going to add some almond extract. Same thing I said earlier. Again, I know that's not traditional of praline flavor, but it is traditional of king cake as part of that enriched dough. So I'm not adding a bunch. Almond extract is strong stuff, so maybe a 1/2 teaspoon Just enough to get that flavor in there and really taste like those New Orleans bakeries. Okay, then we are going to drizzle this all over the top of our delicious nod to pralines. I keep saying nod to pralines because these really aren't pralines. If you want one day, I can make traditional New Orleans pralines and show you that magic. That's not this. I'm just going for the flavors of it, but still with the crackability of toffee for the crack texture of Christmas crack. So remember, that's what we're going for. Christmas crack, but make it Mardi Gras, okay? All right, now I'm going to use my offset spatula to just spread this around real even, cover the whole thing. Nobody wants to be shortchanged and not get some chocolate. And if you're thinking right now, oh my gosh, I could absolutely make this today, you absolutely can, and you should. Think such a delicious snack for tailgating. There's some big football games this weekend. Think parties that you maybe don't. Maybe you're going to a Mardi Gras party. You could make this and you would be the hit of the show. Okay, and then last but not least, if we're doing Mardi Gras, you know we got to have the colors of Mardi Gras. So we've got some green and some purple and some yellow sprinkles. And then just because we can, I have some white and gold to add to the top. Okay, now you need to let this cool completely so that it will crack like Christmas crack does. So it's got to get nice and hard and have time for that toffee to cool. So this is where your patience comes in. You can let it sit on the counter to cool. You can put it in the fridge to cool, or you can do like me and stick it in the freezer, see if it's cooled enough that you can crack it. Okay, it is cooled enough that we are going to crack it and give it a taste. It is still soft, and that's okay with me. We hit the jackpot on this one. The buttery club cracker was the perfect vessel. The salt helps to kind of balance out all that sweet, especially the white chocolate. I can taste just enough of the maple. I can taste the cinnamon, the praline texture. It is perfect. You need to make this one. Have a great day.